advice, if you had one piece of advice to give someone who is just embarking on this journey, what would that be?
I kind of hit on it a little bit earlier, but I'll go more into detail on it. It's set small goals. Uh, if you look at the big picture, if I looked at it in the very beginning and said, okay, I need to lose 300 pounds, um, I would not even thought about starting. That's just the biggest feat and hurdle. It's just not realistic. There is no freaking way I could lose 300 pounds. I did. There's no freaking way I could do it. So my first goal was I wanted to see a number on the scale. I did not want to see ERR anymore. I didn't want to see error. I wanted to see a number. I don't care what the numbers. I did not know what the max of my scale was. So I don't know if it was going to say 5. I don't know if it was going to say 4. I just wanted to see a number. And once I saw that number, okay, well, what's my next goal? Okay, I want to see a 425 or something like that. And then I started getting to, hey, I want to see a 3 in front of this. And the biggest deal was, oh my gosh, I'm about to see a 2 in front of my weight. I don't remember seeing a 2 in front of my weight. That's the most insane thing I've ever seen. And then, uh, so I'm not a small guy by any stretch of the imagination. I never will be a small guy. But I had the fortunate experience to talk to Diamond Dallas Page a few years back, um, who is the creator of DDP yoga. And he said, what's your goal? What's your goal? What's your goal weight? Tell me your goal weight. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never been in that position before. So I don't know. I'm not a small guy. I guess 245 pounds. Okay. So okay, so it's okay. That's it. That's your goal. That's your goal weight you want to be at. So to think in the beginning that I would one day be at the step of setting my goal weight, that's the craziest thing in the world to me. So that's exactly what it is. It's just small, little, tiny goals because you'll be surprised they add up to something huge.
I love that.
So, any words of wisdom for anyone on their journey?
Honestly, it's to have your why. The why you are going to do what you're going to do. You know, if you can't answer why, then how can you develop a plan or a purpose for what you're going to do and how you're going to accomplish that? So my why is, first of all, to be a better father, husband, person in general, better for myself. You know, I don't know how long I have on this earth, but I'm going to make that time that I do have the best possible. Because what good am I to, you know, the people I go to church with, my family, or anyone that I encounter, if I'm in poor health? And then my other why is because I have a duty, that I'm duty bound. When people call 911, they expect the best to be showing up at their house, not some slob who's apathetic and you know, doesn't really care about himself. So so there's a dutiful side of it, and then there's just, you know, that just characteristic side of it too. That I'm here for a purpose and I am looking to fulfill it. And so really, people, you've got to come up with a why. You know, why do you want to get healthier? You know, answer that right off the bat. And, you know, whenever I hear someone, you know, say, when I talk to them about improving their diets and removing bad habits like tobacco and alcohol, you know, and I hear someone say, well, you got to die of something. And I'm like, well, hey, yeah, death is inevitable for us all. But that is such an ignorant statement, because I guarantee you that person, if he starts to feel chest pain or he has a pain anywhere else, or he's having difficulty breathing, eventually they're going to go see a doctor. Why are they going to go see a doctor? Because they don't want to die yet. Okay? So why not address it with the core fundamental values that support appropriate in the optimal health.
I love that. That's perfect. I actually wrote that down. Have your why. That's man, that's good stuff.
So if you have one piece of advice for someone who is just starting out on their journey, what would that advice be?
Keep it simple. It's really easy to get into the weeds with, worrying about your macros and worrying about substitutes and worrying about blah, 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 because I've been there too, trying to do all that stuff. Keep it simple. Eat real one ingredient foods. Eat until you're full. If you're still hungry, like if you eat and then like an hour later you're hungry, up your fat, and take your electrolytes like salt, potassium, magnesium. Those are a game changer. Just don't make it too hard, because that's what causes the failures. When you try to make it too hard, just keep it simple.
I love that and totally agree with you 100%. I often say that it's simple, and I don't mean that to say that it's not hard, because as you've discussed, it is hard to change your mind. But once you realize how simple those foods are that you can put together that can satiate you and keep you away from all of those other things, then the sky's the limit.
What words of wisdom, what advice, what tips or tricks do you have for people just starting this journey that has helped you in yours?
My standard answer to this question is typically to stay consistent. I know a lot of people, they have all of these goals and they will start a lifestyle change, whatever that lifestyle change is. So let's just say somebody's going to be keto. They'll start tracking their macros and they'll start asking questions, and then their numbers aren't going down as quickly as so-and-so's numbers are. So you can't compare yourself to that other person because you're on your own journey. And then, but that's not the bad part. The bad part would be, well, it kind of is bad, but the bad part is then they think, well, I'm going to add this. I'm going to start fasting. I'm going to fast. But they're not going to do the research into the fasting. They're just going to start doing it. And then that's not working fast enough because so-and-so over there lost this much weight when they started fasting. So I'm going to start reducing my meal size. And they never give themselves time. It's just one thing after another thing after another thing that they pile on, and they never give themselves enough time to settle in. My story is that I've spent a full year just learning how to eat MSNG before I even tried anything else. And it was completely successful. Did I refine as I went on? I'm 6 years in. Yeah, absolutely. I refined as I went on, because as I went on, I started noticing that I had other ailments that I wanted to try to heal. But it wasn't a quick process, and I stuck to what I started with. I think we've heard stick with the dance that you brought, stick with the girl you brought to the prom, or whatever that is. That's very true. It doesn't have to be complicated. You stick with what you started with and give it at minimum 3 months. And if it's still not working out, or then make a change. Just make one subtle change and then stick with that for 3 months. And it's going to work. You just got to be patient.
I love it, but also, was that a personal attack towards me, Miss Robin? Because I've been kind of focusing on more tracking and stuff. I feel attacked here.
Well, you shouldn't, because I did not specifically think of you. However, the shoe fits.
Yes, it absolutely does.
But I mean, you're not alone. If that's what you're doing, you're not alone. Everybody does that. And I didn't come from diet mentality. That was not my world. So, that's where I see it the most, is the people who were chronic dieters and they want to just try this, they want this, they want this, they want this, and they never just settle into something. And they're always focusing on a goal weight. So they're always standing on the scale all the time. So, it does not have to be more than, and I say this with all sincerity, it's simple. And the reason why it's so complicated is because it's so simple. We just want to make it harder. We just want to add different things to it, try to speed it up. Our bodies have to heal at the rate that they were going to heal. We don't have any control over that, but we can give it the building blocks that it needs, and that's food.
Absolutely. That's excellent. I love that.